Gentlemen, ladies, anyone in between, I welcome you all. I'm Nick.
Aaron, how's it going?
I welcome you all to the Goose Hummock Shops. Right now, the fall run is well underway, and we're going to be talking to you guys about our staples, what's always in our bag this time of year. So we're going to start with Aaron and what he's always carrying, and he's in the kayak more often than I am. I'm on the beach all the time, so he may have different preferences than I do. So go ahead.
All right, yeah, mostly chasing LBs in the kayak, like Nick said. The bait's super small right now, little bay anchovies, so I'm trying to stand out, and I'm throwing these hardtails, pink flash, lime, pink scratch. I gotta say, lime has been the best one for me as of late. My second rod in the kayak always has Albie snacks. Pearl is the classic for me, but you know what? I've been having a lot of luck on the amber. I fish them weightless, little 4/0 screw lock twist lock hooks in the 4/0 size. If I'm looking for stripers or blues, I love this little Yozuri hydro pencil in bone. Also this time of year, I'm starting to look towards the canal a little bit more. Canal wasn't great this summer, went off this week, so got some Bill Hurley canal killers. Any good paddle tail, you know, 5 ounces, 4 or 5 ounces. We got this one's 3.6. I'm definitely throwing those, carrying those. And, you know, honorable mention here, nice bucktail. Good wide profile on these S&S's. Throw a trailer on it if you like. Gotta have it, gotta have it.
Good stuff, good stuff. So for me, I'm fishing Soundside, I'm fishing the Atlantic facing beaches, and I carry a myriad of lures with me. I'll bring epoxies like Aaron does. I'll use the 1 ounce and larger. This is the 1 ounce. I do very well Soundside and Oceanside fishing the greenback. That's kind of been my color. And one thing I'd like to touch on are the clips. So if you want to bring the camera in tight, you have 2 different types of clips, right? These are Tactical Angler and BKK. These are the smallest size. If you're gonna be targeting Albies, you gotta drop down in clip size. This is what you guys are more accustomed with. These are the 75-pound clips. I live and die by the 50 and the 75-pound clips, but if the Albies, the funny fish are around, I gotta go and downsize the clip. You wanna get rid of any extra hardware while still being able to switch up colors and sizes, all that kind of good stuff. With that out of the way, I'm throwing mag darters in the shallows and throwing mag darters in the current. This is still a staple. It's caught me tons of fish. I think I've had to swap out the hooks 3 times now already because this one single bait has caught so many fish. Yozuri twitch baits. Don't be afraid to go down into the size 90, the smaller one. Out on the Cape, the size 110 is the staple. When they're feeding on the smaller stuff and the real shallow stuff, go with the smaller one. It gets bit. What I also found is if you switch up the hardware and go to singles, these are a 1.0 Lone Sniper, it'll actually make it a floating bait, so you can fish it even shallower and keep it out of the grass and vegetation. 5-inch twitch bait for when the bunker are around, and you know bunker around, the larger profile helps out. Deeper water. This is a Tsunami 4-inch Tidal Pro twitch bait. It should be called a glide bait because this will swim on a steady retrieve back and forth about 1 foot off the center line. Really great bait. Heavy for its size, 4 inches, 1.5 ounces. You can fish this in deeper water and heavier current, and it fishes better in some regards than the twitch bait from Yozuri because if there's heavy surf action, it'll stay planted and won't burn out of a wave. The staple of all staples these days, the Yozuri Hydro Minnow 150F. This is the bone color. One of the longest casting minnow style baits. Doesn't get super deep. If you needed to go deeper, go with the Dio SP Minnow in that same 6-inch size. It weighs 1 ounce, casts like a bullet. Very stable in tough surf. Stays out of the shmoo on the bottom. It won't get too deep if you're fishing the shallow waters. Again, SP Minnow for the deeper stuff. If you're fishing 3 feet of water or less, go with the Yozuri. Another bait that I've really started to like, I caught fish on it this morning. This is the Yozuri Mag Speed. A lot of people don't know what to do with this bait because it looks like it's going to dive 20 feet. It's comfortable down to 6 foot, and it works great in current, casts like a bullet. So it's a medium diver that casts a long range, and it doesn't burn out in the surf, and it doesn't burn out in waves. Next up, we have some top water. These are always in my bag. Newest iteration from Strategic Angler. This is his injection molded popper from Small Lure Company. It's the Mikros 140. Best paint job in the business, best hardware in the business. These are BKK Lone Diablos, BKK rings. This thing detonates on the surface. It's more of a glug than a bloop. It's gonna push and throw a lot of water, leave a big bubble trail. Cast like a bullet. One of my favorite new baits on the market. So I carry that in the Super Strike sinking little neck popper. It's still in my bag. The bluefish are around. You don't want to break the bank. The Tsunami Talking Popper. This is the XD version. Cast like a missile. I tend to remove the tail treble. Generally, if you're fishing around bluefish, you want to remove the belly and keep a tail. I generally want to shed the bluefish, so I'll put an oversized belly treble. That way, if the bass are around, they'll still get a higher hookup ratio. This is how I rig them when blues are around and bass are around. Oversized treble in the belly, still cast like a missile. This is the Tidal Pro iPop. I remove the tail treble, stick with the belly. It walks the dog as good as it pops. Great caster, great finishes. Horizontal line tie, which allows you to get these TA clips on and off, something you can't do with a lot of the deep cup faces. So if you look, you can get plenty of clearance to get your clips on and off. Awesome lure, loud rattle, casts real far, and again, walks the dog as good as it pops. And this is my staple for a walk the dog style top water. This is a Yozuri Top Knock. It's color bone. Doesn't matter the color. It casts incredibly far. It's one of the only spooks on the market that'll outcast its usable or workable distance. So you can cast this lure so far that you can't even walk the dog. It's always good to be able to keep one bait on and not have to switch to a long range popper if you want to get a top water bait out to a blitzing school of fish. This little guy here weighs an ounce, cast at 100 yards. Great bait, great hardware. Don't even have to swap out anything. And I think the only thing I'm missing out, Aaron brought up bucktails. I love bucktails, especially with a trailer, especially in shallow water. The lighter jig head on the NLBN 5-inch is my go-to when I'm fishing surf, when I'm fishing inlets and canals. Great in current, does pretty well in shallow water. Real stout hook, good all-around bait. Fairly durable for such a soft aerometer of a soft plastic, but this color, it's olive over pearl, really good bait. And with all that being said, the only thing I can mention beyond that is the waters around Cape Cod are very clear. If you're really focused mainly on false albacore, 15-pound fluorocarbon, 20-pound fluorocarbon. If you're fishing primarily for striped bass, 20, 25, and 30-pound fluorocarbon. Whether you go with the pink or the clear, I prefer the pink. Do you prefer the clear?
I do.
Can't go wrong either way, it's personal preference. Whether it's Yozuri, whether it's Seagar, fluorocarbon is an absolute must on the Cape. And I think that all about wraps it up.
All right.
Fishing's been great. Get out there. The conditions are great. The water's still warm enough where you can get out there. You don't have to wear waders. You just wear light shorts, wade, wet wade and that kind of stuff. The bugs are pretty much gone, and the fishing has been really good. So thanks for joining us, guys. Until next time, I'm Nick.
I'm Aaron. Tight lines.